Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lady Universe and White and Nerdy. And I actually have a pretty interesting question to ask people because it's been quite a long time since I last talked about it. I'm pretty sure it was either November or September. It was during that time, anyways. It was basically before the Lazy Wing season started. So here's a good question. Does anybody at all trying to remember what happened at the end of season one of Umbrella Academy because that series feels like a blur to me. Oh yeah, how could I forget? The Umbrella Academy called the Apocalypse. Though the apocalypse would only be repeated, basically like still to this day we're still suffering from an apocalypse, basically sort of scenario. Yeah. But anyways, if you're wondering about the history of the Umbrella Academy, like how, like basically where it started and everything, I would recommend that you click the pinned comment to the link to my original Umbrella Academy video and go and watch season one before you watch this video. Otherwise, a bunch of you are going to be going, "What is he talking about?" So I will recommend that you go and watch my season one review right now. Pause this video. You don't have to go anywhere else. Open up a new tab. Open up YouTube. Go and watch my season one review, and then come back and watch this one. We good? We good. So, but yes, since it's been a while since I reviewed season one of Umbrella Academy, I decided enough dodging around the bullet, enough trying to avoid everything. Let's just jump right into it. So I'm of course going to be talking about the second season today of the Umbrella Academy series, which I'm still upset that nobody told me about to begin with. So this will be my season two review of Umbrella Academy. This will be my review, retrospective, whatever you want to call it, upon season 2 of Umbrella Academy. So if nobody has seen season 1 or watched my season 1 review, just be forewarned, spoilers. So please go and watch my season 1 review of Umbrella Academy, then come back and watch season 2. Otherwise, just to be forewarned people that there will be some slight spoilers within there. So before I continue on, I'm just going to repeat myself just a little bit. Umbrella Academy is based off of a Dark Horse comic series by Gabriel Bach, and of course you are Way, who most people probably remember from his, I can't remember the band that Joy Way was a part of. My Chemical Romance, I believe? Yeah. I'm sorry, I completely forget because he has his own band, and then he had My Chemical Romance. So it's kind of a hard thing to kind of remember with Gerard. As much as I love Gerard Way, it's like you just forget these type of things. So, but Umbrella Academy was his first comic series because Gerard Way is a massive comic book fan. He's gone on to establish this more times than once. He created the Umbrella Academy and he created Penny Parker. Not kidding. He created Penny Parker. Then he had worked on several hundred books, like more popularly Umbrella Academy, as well as Doom Patrol and other comic books out there. But Umbrella Academy is the series that he's mostly remembered for, and for good reason, because people who get into comic books, they usually have that one friend that will go Umbrella Academy to them. And Umbrella Academy is a series that is about whatever the hell that they create. Like, basically think of the Doom Patrol, but even stranger. That is a compliment upon the series. I think I said that in my season 1 review, with like, just imagine the Doom Patrol, but even weirder. That'll give you an idea of what the Umbrella Academy deals with. But in season 1, we got to know the family, and that the family was brought back together for a very specific reason, to figure out a murder mystery. Dun dun dun! No spoilers or anything, but in season 2, we have something even more interesting that we're dealing with. Time travel. Because when Five saved the Umbrella Academy at the end of season 5, they ended up doing the time warp again. And for those of you that get that reference, I'm giving you 5,000 nerd points. So with that all said and done and out of the way, which again, please go and watch my season 1 review so you can be all caught up on what happened there to what happened here. Alright, so with that all out of the way, let's dig into Umbrella Academy Season 2 and see how much weirder that you can get from the original Season 1. Because Season 1 was pretty damn weird, but everybody for Umbrella Academy, like the producers and everything, said, no, we can do weirder. We can do weirder. So with that all said and done, let's head back into the Uncanny Umbrella Academy and see just where the heck things go after they caught the apocalypse. After Five saves the Umbrella Academy, they're all traveled back in time to 1960. Why 1960? Because why the hell not? And each and every one of them is scattered across time. Which, thanks to this new timeline, the Umbrella Academy start World War III upon 1963, not because John F. Kennedy became assassinated, but because they try to prevent it. And Five has to wonder if his siblings really will start World War III, or if they would happen to stop it and stop the apocalypse from happening thus and yet again. Or would they alter the timeline and screw the pooch a lot worse than they already have? Only time will definitely tell, and only the Umbrella Academy knows their outcome. Oh, I am so glad that that reveal for some people was not shown in that clip. Thank you. But the thing is that I was worried about is when I noticed that this was doing a time travel story, I'm like, please, for the love of God, do the time story right. Don't mess anything up. But I love the inclusion on the what if, because when I love social studies and world history as much as the next guy, and I love talking about like World War II and the Cold War type of deal stuff because it's so interesting. And one of the topics that a lot of people like myself like to say is, what if the Cold War did ensue? Basically, either before John F. Kennedy was assassinated or afterwards, what would have happened, or what would have happened if Kennedy never attempted to stop that? And this is a really interesting play on a what if scenario, and it gets more interesting the deeper that you dive into it, and that's what makes this all the more interesting, at least to me, it does. Because you get to really play around with this. I mean, this is almost like the Marvel series Marvel What If, where the creators get to kind of play around with what they want to do. Here, you can tell that they were being respectful to the history where they came from, because just the 1960s, so when Allison gets traveled back in time, she had to deal with the segregation act and racism and everything. So you really do feel everything about that, and they were so respectful to the time period, and I have to applaud them for that. Like, they didn't do nothing fucked up. They didn't do nothing that would determine people that came from this time period. They were very respectful, and it was really well done. Like, for example, Klaus is gay, so when Klaus finds somebody that's important to him, secret, nobody else's. Well, I'm not telling you who it is either. The person that he is captivated by, his uncle made him beat the ever-living crap out of Klaus because he's gay, and it's like, yeah. But then when things were weird or unusual, we just beat the ever-loving hell out of it, or kept it far, far away from us, because we were assholes back in the past. That we can give, and that nobody can be like, yeah, no, he's right. Like, we were assholes in the past. If you've seen the things that we have done in American history, we done some pretty fucked up things to people, and we are so sorry for that. But with that all said and done, let's travel to the 1960s and see just exactly what happened during the time period and what happened to the Umbrella Academy. So, after the apocalypse happened and Five saved everybody, what exactly did happen to the Umbrella Academy? Well, Diego's in a mental institution. Why is Diego in a mental institution? Because Diego tried to save John F. Kennedy about 3 years before he was assassinated. Vanya is sent to a small farm out in the middle of somewhere, where she helped take care of a kid who I assume had autism, I don't know. And in case you couldn't smell it coming from a mile away, yes, and all cliched of cliched, Vanya wakes up and she doesn't remember a thing. Klaus somehow ends up becoming a crazy cult leader. I don't even want to think about how brilliant that idea was or how great it was. And Allison becomes a civil rights activist when she also meets her husband, and yet she cannot move past fucking her brother. And Luther becomes a big frickin' henchman, whatever you want to say, for a bad guy, and yet he still can't move past Allison. What's an even bigger twist is that they end up having dinner and meeting their own father, Reginald Hargreaves, and of course trying to figure out a secret with him as well. And in a very surprise twist, Vanya actually falls in love with a woman named Sissy, the same woman who took her in because she had amnesia and couldn't remember a thing.
Okay, Mr. Johnson's up. Girl on girl. So hot.
Which Vanya ends up captured by the government because she is Russian. So they think she's a Russian spy, so they just interrogate her and try to basically get any information out of her. When Vanya is saved by the most unlikely of superheroes, Vanya is saved by her own brother Ben, who sacrificed himself to save her. Now, during season 1, I talked about how Klaus was my favorite character in season 1, and he is. And in season 2, he's not exactly my favorite character, except somewhat. My favorite character when this moment happened became Ben, as he became more than just that dead character that Klaus can talk to. He became so much more, and it meant so much more of an impact on him when he sacrificed himself for Vanya when she was going Super Saiyan with her powers. Now, before I end out this video, I am going to have to basically kind of come in here and talk about the ending of the series and pretty much in a very spoiler fashion. So if you don't want Umbrella Academy Season 2 spoiled for you, skip ahead now. You have been definitely warned for right now. Because I am going to get into some very spoiler territories with the ending of the season. So, with that all said and done, I'm going to get into the season 2 review of season 2 finale of Umbrella Academy and tell you guys how it ends. So, you have been warned right now to click off this video. Everyone else, let's see how Umbrella Academy basically finishes off. Vanya, by accident, gives Harlan superpowers. I don't even want to think about how that worked, but Vanya somehow accidentally gives him some superpowers and she has to stop him. All while at the same time, we learned that the headmistress was never dead after she was shot point blank in the head, and she brought along her daughter. And it turns out her daughter is one of the Umbrella Academy. As her daughter, Lila, is technically like the Super Skrull from the Marvel Universe. It can copy all of their powers and use all of their powers against them, so what the hell? With the Umbrella Academy very fairly certain that the world had been saved, and that the timeline had been saved, all except for a very surprise reveal that I won't spoil. And also, since Lila is one of the Umbrella Academy, or a part of the Umbrella Academy, this means that Diego slept with her because of reason. Seriously, Gerard Way, what is your obsession with incest? It's gross, man. You won't even let this Luther and Allison thing slide. What the fuck, Gerard? I mean, seriously, man. Is it because you want to be weird? Is it because you want to be edgy? I don't get what you're doing, bro. So I know what you're probably going to be asking. Does this mean that you would recommend Umbrella Academy Season 2? Yeah, but to be fair, I kind of liked the first season a lot more, really playing into a strange element. While I do enjoy the time travel scenario and trying to give us something new or different, I still have to say I like season one more than season three or season two, but that's just me. While season two does have its flaws, it's still a fairly decent series. So if you're getting into Umbrella Academy season one, you can still watch season two. Just be aware that it takes kind of longer to get through some episodes. Like they try to keep it edgy and stuff like that, but it to me, it's kind of like a slower ride compared to what the first season was, where it kept your interest going episode to episode. Here, it kind of feels like that long car ride that you just want to be over, and that's unfortunately true. But the acting is good, the writing is superb, and the directing is right on top and top key. And I'm hoping that eventually, when I pick up season 3, we can end this thing. So I do recommend that you check out Umbrella Academy season 2 if you can. It's kind of a fun ride, but one ride that you probably want to do once and never want to do it again. So, yes, check out Umbrella Academy Season 2 if and when you can. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I make an upload. I believe it's never a top new to keep you on, and also please do check out Umbrella Academy Season 2 if you have the chance, but like I said, I just do it once. Season 1, in my opinion, is like the better season. Season 2 is kind of like, it's okay, but it's nothing like what Season 1 was. And I really do recommend that you go and watch my Season 1 review. I will pin it. I will pin it in the comment down below. But there, and also, if you guys want to follow me, the best way to do so is by clicking my link to Twitter in the description down below. And as always, if you want to support the channel and help it grow, the best way to do so is by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that bell icon to be notified every single time I make an upload. But I believe in the words, have what new to keep you on, and until next time, and as always, guys, keep you on, and take care.